not, a win here puts them cleanly up there with Game Ward, with Vitality B on 6 wins, immediately makes them a top 4 team, and 1 win away from being an outright top 1 team. They have proven that they can compete with the current top 1 team, LDLC, that have taken these very easy compositions and just run all the way with it. So we know that they can compete up there. Just can they continue to prove that to the audience? Can they, in this game, distinguish themselves from a team that is definitely not 2 or 3 games away from being first place, OPL?
That's right. Well, let's get into it here, ladies and gents. Last game of the day. Let us know who you are rooting for. Do you want to see Team Oplon come out with a dub, or will BDSA finally be able to end this losing streak of 3 straight losses in a row? But we'll take a look at the early starts. Will be a leashless start here for Brunis in the top side. And of course, same thing here for Shio, has opted in to take the blue here right off the rip. Has that phase rush rune here as well. As we take a look at the matchup overall, we'll be able to get in and out very quickly, and we'll keep an eye on both of the early pathing here to see exactly what the game plan will be.
Yep, Brunes just doing a fast clear towards bot side. The Gromp into a cheese play is open to him. Absolute being very aggressive.
Knight comes down early. Crown Shot wants to chase, and already we'll see low health bars on the side of the supports, but more so here for Absolute. Does still have access to the Ignite, and the heal is here for Tiger. So we'll see if they can get to level 2 first and try to abuse and punish the lane here. That's going to have to sit back to the side of BDSA.
They are definitely expecting Lee to go Gromp into bot though, that kind of an aggression. And Poppy, she skipped her wolves, gone straight to red buff as well. Both junglers are now beelining straight for the volatile lane. Peng getting traded on quite heavily by Zico on this Vex. Vex a very scary champion right now. And Zico, a very experienced player on it. He's having 2 of the best splits of his career so far. He definitely wants to prove that he belongs up there with the best of the best. Try to compete with the Sarkans of the world, with the Shyeks of the world, but he has to get through Peng first.
Well,
Poppy,
Shio, he's here first. They're going to go on Absolute, and well, likely will end up going down here. A little bit of damage back on Turadote, and Absolute does splash, but not enough for Brunis to get there with the safeguard. Sonic Wave going to be thrown out, but probably more just to try to get this wave shoved in.
Brunes went for the blue instead of escorting the lane on bot first. He did go for the Gromp, he did get level 3 first, but he went straight back into the clear. Shio, on the other hand, instead of going into his next camp, just went straight bot. Both had the same amount of information, but Shio, he had the better read on the situation, and yeah, he's managed to get the initial advantages for his team, and now he'll go back into his clear, a little bit behind against the Lee Sin, but not by that much.
Absolute will be spotted on this ward alongside Brunes. Zico's going to be able to get this wave shoved in. Shio knows that something's going on. A bit of an invade on the Raptors. Will be an earlier back here for Absolute, but he's not going to really be able to make anything happen. Level 2, so they're just going to be able to back up. You also see Dote coming over and being able to assist to make sure that the Raptors are in fact secured.
Yeah, Peng was able to get a recall off of that though, with Zico not pressuring the lane, leaning in to defend those Raptors. So one nice thing happened there, Aggressivo. Why do we keep giving Gwen to these top laners? This guy's even named Aggressivo. Like, what do you want to happen? But we'll see if this Gwen turns out like the otother 2 Gwens we've seen this weekend. Yes. OPL, though, they're looking to just try to stay in the game right now as long as they can. Gragas gradually losing further and further on top side. Peng, though, that resets nice for him. He's back on full HP, back on full mana. He was mana-less before he was able to get that. Bot lane, 1 death, and that kill is onto the Philistine to unlock themselves. They need to recall now. Jinx needs to get gold in. Hopefully, she can maintain some sort of economy parity, but I don't think she's going to get a completed item here. Yep, we're going straight for the pickaxe. So it's good damage match. Obviously, don't get any of the direct to minion benefits that Aphelios gets on his mid-tier item, I guess you could say, in-between item there. But she has a wave to go back into. Aphelios just kind of slow pushing this on bot.
TP is going to be matched now on the top side. Darlic, his job is just to try to survive here versus Gwen, but does give Aggressivo quite the free lane to be able to scale up unless we see a little bit more attention coming over. Zico feeling a bit of the poke punishment right now here from Peng, who is going to now get some of it back, so some trading coming back and forth. Absolute now going to make an appearance into the mid lane, help him shove this out. Take some of the stacks here for his support item, and this could give them priority to make a move if they would like. The Dragon, of course, is alive and active, but they have lost the bot lane priority in the process as they now start to take over the river and set up some vision.
Good timing though, it was the 530 cannon wave. Both laners were going to hit level 6 there, and that gives Vex a lot of all-in potential. If Vex played aggressively for that level 6 and all-in Peng, Lee was there, Absolute was there on his Nautilus, and they would have been able to disengage that very easily for Peng. So that was a good timing to be there versus an all-in champion. You want to think about that versus Assassins as well, and obviously have that timing in mind if you're against a champion like Twisted Fate or Gallia.
Crown shot. Just a slight CS lead, but that should be evened out here from Tiger. There's also been, the standard, I would say, standout at times here. Definitely in the early weeks was putting up some great base defenses on the Jinx, and if he can go even here and do his best to stay with the CS against Crown Shot, we'll see if he can maybe be that late game carry, pending Oplon can in fact get there. Now some more resets going to come out here. Absolute going to match Peng in the mid lane so that they can potentially come out together. But while this happens, opportunity for BDSA to make a move on the Dragon in the bot side.
Yep, they're not going to be contested on this at all. The waves are not in the favor of OPL for anything like this early on. Both bounce back on mid, bounce back on bot, and if there's anything that you want to make an acceleration play on, it's top side. So yeah, it's just going to be very clean, and the one mountain, that's going to do a lot for BDS's comp. They have shields coming out of Fresh, shields coming out on Poppy, and it's always worth remembering that resistances scale onto shields as well. So very effective Drake for them.
Good response. Tiger backs all the way up, but now he's going to lose a pretty big wave because of it. Plate also goes over solo to Crown Shot, and he is just going to farm away at this tower. 2 plates are collected with the Dragon and Brunes. They maybe got some counter jungling done here. Might have been able to at least get the blue, but at the very least, Crown Shot now very far ahead, getting more of this gold put in his pocket.
I mean, they're trying to trade for something significant on top side, but it's nothing to the extent of what Crown Shot was able to get bot there. Aphelios, a very, very difficult champion to deal with, especially if OPL's free dive champions ever actually commit to a dive. That's not the guy that you want to have economy. Jinx, on the other hand, for them, could end up being a big deal. We've seen Jinxes be attempted to be shut down before earlier today, and one stray rocket was enough to get her back in the game. So I think she'll not feel like it's the end of the world, even if she is a wave behind now. She'll still have comeback options. It's on this Victor, though, that OPL are playing very heavily towards. So you know he doesn't have that. Dope.
Nice flash.
Good attempt.
Yeah, good attempt here. Absolutely trying to look for an angle. Dote also throwing out death sentence and a hook of his own. Will connect, but will not follow up. So play for Oplon. It was attempted in the mid lane, but just a Dote, quick flash, quick mechanics. We'll make sure that he holds onto his life and no play comes through.
Yeah, losing those 3 minions though was a little bit painful on Peng. They E'd through all of them, wasn't actually able to follow up with autos there. Jinx still being pressured on bot while they play to keep Victor safe. They know that if Victor falls behind, their odds of winning the game dramatically decrease. So I do approve of this. And Jinx is not getting a reckless level treatment. It's not like these guys are spending the whole time top lane. From mid, you can easily shift into bot. So it's not like Tiger has to play back at his tier 2. Like Reckless had to earlier today. So, nice static play by OPL. Ooh, good.
Yeah, nice flash.
Okay.
He gets caught there, and he's definitely going down.
For sure. That opens up play opportunities for Gragas and Lee Sin. Obviously, if you hard commit to a dive on Crown Shot and he's able to outplay your displacements, you're now in a very bad position, exactly where Aphelios wants you, but he doesn't have that flash. There's Lee kicks possible, right? There's Gragas kicks possible. Not really kick, but you know what I mean. Displace back into the back line. He has his own Lee Sin play.
Crown Shot now safely just going to farm up. Still slight CS lead over Tiger at the moment. Getting a lot more priority now from Zico as he's going to be able to start shoving out this mid lane. Can threaten to go from side to side here with Shio at any given time. The dive that we already talked about, pretty difficult to shut down, but Shio wants to make maybe something happen in the bot lane, or might just have a read on thinking that Brunes could be coming down here to try to make a play happen again on Crown Shot, knowing that the Dragon Rage, of course, was not used in the play, but they'll get the vision, they'll spot out the Poppy, and now they'll go over, start to take over some of the control here again. We won't have a Dragon for about a minute 45, but that's not going to stop Shio from coming to say hello to Peng here. We'll be able to land the stun up just a quick second, and then just runs away with a phase rush.
Yeah, well, it's not like Peng's going to be healing all of that up anytime soon. He has to burn his pots to do it, and that's losing the effective HP battle with Vex. Vex pops a pot, though. Decides to give the effective HP advantage over to Peng. Peng's going to get priority off of this, which means maybe there's something that OPL could look to do with this push, though ultimately it looks like Nautilus just wants to reset. Jinx resets as well, so there's nothing to contest in River either, so nothing that they're going to get off this immediate advantage. But maybe in the future, we might be able to see if that effective HP turns into something.
The observer camera hasn't really shown us a lot of top lane, but we take a look and we can see it. Aggressivu, he's scaling, he's getting up there.
Yeah.
He's got a free lane here versus Darlic, who just has to survive and does have his first item locked in, so that'll be at least a tad bit easier to do. But we've already seen the Gwen many times on the day. It doesn't get easier as the game gets later, and as we look at 12 minutes, we're very close to that second dragon about to spawn. BDSA, they're coming through with a couple of key items. You got at least that first one here for Crown Shot. Gale Force going to be here, and now it's a play on mid. Peng in some trouble, flashes back to his team, and now they're dishing out the damage, but the burst from Aphelios! It's a triple kill, and BDSA will take the fight.
They threw everything on a dope, but in doing so, they were effectively diving into an Aphelios, and you see what happens when you do that. That's why your answers to an Aphelios are heavy range. That was not range that you met right there. What you met was the full fury of Crown Shot, a phenomenal lady carry player, has been for many, many years, even in the French scene where he cut his teeth, and now you've given him kills to carry the rest of the game with. He's on 4 now. Yep, so they get into a dope. Crown Shot closes the gap here, puts himself in the melee range. Look at the damage that came out there from his ultimate. Wow. Yeah, there's not much counterplay there. Now he's so strong that if you make that mistake just one more time, it could be lights out for OPL's chances at breaking their 9-loss streak. That looks very good for BDS to break their 3-loss streak.
It sure does. Everything on Crown Shot, the 4-time MVP here so far in the league. Might be able to find number 5 and jump to the top of the leaderboards for the most MVPs in the LFL. But that gold lead starting to get out of hand. Second dragon locked in. And things, of course, not looking good here for Team Oplon. And this is where we get to that point here, veteran, where Team Oplon don't exactly know what to do. They start to funnel into a lot of these team fights, and that's where things tend to get a little bit out of control. And we'll see if BDSA will continue to capitalize on that if Oplon kind of opt into it here again.
Yeah, I just realized Crown Shot didn't even have the proper guns to properly punish that dive, so imagine how scary it's going to be later on. Right here, this would be a better set for him to cycle through in that situation. One thing I do just want to note for the audience, obviously, we've seen a lot of Gwens recently get a lot of advantages. Looks like they're trying to set up on Crown Shot again. If Crown Shot cycles into white before they do this, though, it might go really bad for them. Okay, he's going to be safe for now. One thing I do want to note for the audience, right, we've seen a lot of Gwens recent... Oh, we don't want to get the time to talk
Not
about
today.
it. Yeah,
Not before the pick comes through, and Peng is flashless, he is caught out, and he is CC'd and sent back to base.
And Shear's played this game really, really well so far. Like, just the initial read that he got over Brunes on the state of bot lane, he carried that through really well, but... Oh, every time that a pick's being available near him, he's gone for it, he's chunked, he's won the HP trade, he's got some advantages for his team. Great performance from him on a champion that we don't normally think about as a highlight champion, right?
Certainly the case, and now tower will go down, 2 towers on the board.
Yep.
Here for BDSA, running away with this gold lead, almost at 28,000 here at that 15-minute mark. Finally, another kill on the board here for BDSA. This one will not go over to Crown Shot, but you take a look at some of the differentials, and leads in every single lane, maybe not so much in the top lane. Things have been at least decently even, but throughout everything else, there is a very nice lead to have at this 15-minute mark.
Yeah, we're only looking at 2-wave advantage, and we haven't seen any straight-up kills be set up by Aggressivo there, but it's not the same thing as Gwen into Camille. Camille has very few options to fin out and crash the wave, whereas Gragas, we have actually seen him do it, though the observers haven't actually caught it so far. He has even used his ultimate and his Qs to get the wave state in a better position for him. Sure, in terms of a strict 1v1, Gragas isn't going to be able to deal with a Gwen like a Camille can do at some points, but he does have more options to get himself a better wave state and keep it a little bit more even. That's why you very often see these top laners, when blind picking, tend towards the Gragas, even if it's not best for composition. They're a lot safer. You see that one Q he's thrown there, throw two more there, and he's got some bit of a dive opportunity for you. Give him the opportunity to throw those Qs on the wave when you're trying to freeze on him. He's broken the freeze already. He has that level of wave control, so don't take this as like a Visage Archie or a Sigenda Gwen was just better. They were having a much easier set of matchups for it. And also Visage Archie got a lot more help from his team there, but Gragas has the opportunity to keep it even.
TP.
Make no mistake, Gwen's winning.
Try to make the play. The play, though, is very nice to try to help heal Crown Shot. He does eat the depth charge. Bruness is going to stay on top of him, but while this happens, Absolute going to be very low. The kick is good, but who can get there? Low. Ping pong back and forth, and Bruness takes down the AD carry. Crown Shot down. Verdote is down. Team Oplon, they'll find a successful fight.
Really interested to see how that happened again, but both displacements were used by OPL there on top of Crown Shot, and it worked. Sure, you're getting really, really fed, but you're not spending that money on tank items, my friend. If you get caught out, OPL can still do something to you, and they were actually able to eliminate him in that fight. Absolutely huge for them. A breath of life in an OPL game versus a team that many people are looking to be, including myself, a top contender, BDS. Let's see if they can find it again.
That's the opening we were waiting for. Aggressive pathing in the jungle, good TP, great punish. And can they build off of it? Kill onto Bruness, kill onto Darlik. But another problem here for Team Oplon to try and solve. Third dragon coming up, and this is an Ocean Soul. And we know how devastating it can be once you get the soul itself. This would put them on soul point if they're able to get it. Crown Shot going to get the mid lane priority here first, allow them to move in, and it doesn't even look like Team Oplon are interested in contesting this. It's going to be a back here for Bruness, so it might be another free drag picked up.
Oh, Shia finds Darlik. Darlik does have the ultimate worst case scenario. Hit him with the sad kitty. Oh! This guy has his emotes, sir.
Yeah, he's got him on point.
Well minded, yeah. Oh my lord, thumbs up, yes. Okay, I like it when you dominate with style, you know? Anyone can dominate. Shio does it with style. Aggressivo though.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't get over the wall, but Absolute's gonna be there to cut him off. But could he get a kill in return? Pang falls, and the Mega Death Rocket quite literally saved his mid laner's life. But will he be able to get away? No, he will not. That is the ultimate. Crown Shot gets the trade, and he'll take down the mid laner.
Yep, Crown Shot's lead extending there, though. You're correct, Tiger did give Peng just a little bit more time alive than he otherwise would have had. That was definitely going to be a trade kill by Gwen against 4 people. Arguable whether you'd prefer that on Gwen or on Crown Shot right now. Aphelios does need to be able to do a lot in these fights because everyone else, they kind of have a range issue going into the opponents. Arguably Aphelios does as well, but he has to trade much less HP so long as he's not in a terrain situation like he was in the red side jungle, where you can use terrain to close the gap with him, like they did, moving around the corners, playing around these choke points. So long as you get him in a lane scenario, Aphelios is your best bet. Right, and in that stage, you want him to be able to get kills immediately because he will take some poke going in these fights. Looks like they're getting priority on the initial Baron contest at 20 minutes, though. Interesting to see if BDS just try to end this game before the hyper carries become a threat.
Gio takes the lantern out just before the choppers come down to cut him off there. So, small window of timing. Oplon can't find it. Aggressivo will get something going on the side lane. Someone will have to respond, and that someone will in fact be Darlik, who does have his TP alongside Aggressivo if something does end up breaking out here in the top side of the map. But all this early preparation for the Baron that's going to be spawning here in the next 20 seconds is going to put them in a great situation. Zico also can't really be matched on the side lane. He's got a lot of pressure. He's very far ahead, has that stopwatch, will be able to have the first shove. And now Team Oplon are basically just trying to get whatever resources they possibly can, try to farm up this Jinx, try to farm up this Victor before we get to that point where that Baron gets started.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see what happens with Zico in these fights, because he's been silently scaling up here. He's got a pretty significant lead. OPL making a play on him.
Oh, the Sonic Wave does connect. Lantern pulls Brunes all the way in, and now ground shot is here. Brunes has gone too far. Explosive Cask is thrown out, but the Shadow Surge, the re-engage, Aggressivu, he is ripping apart the backline. This will be Darlik on the flash, but Absolute likely might go down here as well. And now the attention turning over to Pang. Chaos Storm will zone him away, but you can take a different route. You can come back in. BDSA, they're not done. Flashless targets, looking for the hook. Lantern comes out, and BDSA, they do not want to commit.
I feel like Brunes's brain said, okay, Fresh Lantern is there, I'm definitely not going to take this Q, and Brunes's hand only heard Q. Going straight in there, setting up the Fresh for the all-in, and then BDS, they're able to get Balan off of that misplay. Dalek here trying to contest, but nothing's really going to come of it. Oh, no.
You never know. You never know with those Jinx rockets when they come out.
Those Jinx rockets.
That one was blocked up quite nicely there for Madote. So they do get the Baron. They might lose the mid lane towers, so Oplon might be able to kind of capitalize on one of the objective bounties. They don't really have a wave to do so, and it actually looks like BDSA with the response will come through with the TP, but they still lose the towers. Zico's here, Shio goes in. That will be the kick, a little bit delayed, but it still works out here for them. They'll find at least a kill onto Shio, and now they look for another crown shot, though. He is so far ahead, 6-1. Hook is going to land here onto Darlik, and now the Shadow Surge in the back. They take down Brunes, reset City here, but it's going to be a lockdown. Chain CC, and now Tiger getting excited. Will get a couple kills back, so aggressive play for BDSA, and they will be punished, but aggressive on the side lane getting work done.
Okay, 900 gold picked up there by Aggressivo for his team, but you can see the issues they have playing into the range of OPL, and hats off to Tiger and Peng, they played that well. Zico just teleporting right in front of them here. Somehow it's Shio that goes out for that, though. He sees displacement gone. He didn't quite pin Brunes. He thought he could get it to the turret, but Brunes just about didn't get hit there. Displaces Shio into the team, and you see Crown Shot moving up, but he can never reach this Victor. He can never reach this Jinx. Vex sees the opportunity to go in, immediately finds himself in the Victor W, and Victor, now he can just move up. They can all trade HP because there's no way Crown Shot can kill them all, even in that situation. You can already see some of the issues that Aphelios has into these heavy range compositions like this. So I've often been quite confused at Aphelios' priority into Jinx compositions. It's quite difficult for him to do anything on his own into them.
The Dragon now about to spawn in 5 seconds. This could be the Ocean Soul for BDSA. Oplon, they can't let this one go. They let the last couple, but this one they're going to have to fight. They had a close fight last time around in the mid lane. They are still down quite a bit of gold, but could this be their miracle team fight? There's the flash engage in the backline. Shadow Surge into the Keeper's Verdict. What a combo! And they'll take down Tiger. Jinx is out of the fight. The jungler is gone, and one by one, Team Oplon will fall as they'll get 4 out of 5, and Aggressivu will force the flash from Pang.
Congrats to Shio there. He sees Tiger, he gets him. Tiger almost gets away, but Vex has all he needs to just go in, finish him off. One of the big carries is down. Peng basically zoned from the rest of the fight, and BDS, they're able to pick up everything. They're able to pick up a tier 2 on mid. They're going to go for the inhibitor here. They're getting the Drake at the same time, and that's Soul for the side of BDS. Now it's much, much harder for OPL that ultimately want these long, drawn-out fights to do much to them with that Ocean Soul.
And not unfamiliar territory here for Team Oplon. 10,000 gold down, heading into the late game here for us. As we would typically see it, 24 minutes. Miracle team fight does not come in. Crown shot 6-1-5, 3 items strong, 2.5 here for Zico. And now you have to deal with Aggressivu on the side lanes, who's going to be a menace or can also look for these angles into the team fight. But this is looking a little bit grim here. Losing the mid lane inhibitor, can only imagine that they'll start to take away all the vision here in the jungle, start to push out the side lanes, coordinate all of the lanes at once, and see if they can break into the base and likely find one more team fight to close this one out.
Yep, Crown Shot pushing out bot side. They have this midsection open. We're likely to see Aggressivo Crash Wave on top, move in towards the mid push and just try to threaten with flank. Shio He's been the catalyst at the start of all of these fights, despite the triple disengage available on OPL. She has managed to find the pins on key carries in every fight BDS has won. That seems to be their win condition. It's likely to remain. They get this tower pretty much for free. Aggressivo, he's crashed on top. The mid wave is moving in. You can see him move down. He's going to be a threat on the side of OPL. If they move too far to him, they risk dropping damage on the tower. Here we go. They're moving up to try to contest. They send Peng there, but that gives BDS much more agency on the tower. OPL trying to defend 3 different lanes at once. It's not going to happen. This just gives the inhibitor on bot side. They're just going to all in on Aggressivo, but he'll just escape towards the top side. Inhibitor down. Split decisions everywhere, creating so many fork scenarios for OPL. There's nothing really much they can do here. They need to try to commit to one of these flanks, but every time they do, that flank leaves and the other one goes aggressive.
How does Brutus get in here? I mean, this steadfast presence is going to stop him in his tracks, but there's the flash engage. Brutus in a bit of trouble, able to kite it out. They do get on ground shot, but no one's with absolute on the side. As Shio goes all the way in, buys a ton of time. Meanwhile, ground shot's been able to take down one. Moving in here, Aggressivo has to be a little bit careful, but it's able to kite away. The Ocean Soul still very much active. They'll take down a 3rd inhibitor, set up with the wave. Team Oplon have to try and defend against BDSA. They have been able to defend in the base before. Can they solve this one out, though?
Yeah, I actually genuinely thought OPL had it there. Shio didn't actually engage onto a carry there. He engaged onto their front line, but Lids with barely 1 HP and the Ocean Soul heal coming in clutch to save him from the burn. If that was a reset on Jinx, that teamfight could have gone very different, like the previous teamfights did, but right there, the power of the map control that they had, trolled crown shot a bit there, the power of the map control that they had earlier came into play. All of these Drakes have been skilled by them. They're looking at much more effective HP than they otherwise should be, and so that didn't end up being a team fight going in OPL's favor.
All right, they're going to wait for one more Baron. I think they didn't want to risk the end and then have an opportunity where Team Oplon probably could have moved in and potentially steal this away so that they could defend a little bit longer. But here comes the first teleport. This will be right into the mix here. Aggressivo will be able to shred this down. Brunette, could he find the big steal? They're going to remove the blast cone to make things that much less likely to getting into this pit. I think he realizes, all right, there's no way in. Second Baron secured. Jinx rocket is blocked. And now they'll have the Baron, but one last reset to spend all this gold before they come through with their final push.
Double super minion waves, a very ahead team, 14k gold on the board for them over OPL. And now Baron, this is likely to be the game-winning push here, or we're going to see the start of an astonishing back and forth between OPL and BDS. Whether Shio can find these picks onto the carries might define it, or it might even be too late to think about that.
They didn't farm up a lot of these waves. No more waves are going the way of BDSA until they step into the base here. But now that they have the Baron, it's going to make it much harder to try and clear these double pack super waves. Let's see what they can do. You might have to try to make the first move. Jarlek does have the flash available if he can find an angle in. Aggressivo steps up. Play is going to land. Death Sentence connects, and now they'll take down the tank. That's the Shadow Surge in the back line. Finding a second. It's a triple for Crown Shot. It might be a quadra. Looking for the angle in. Won't be able to get it. A kill does come back. Brunes will take down the AD carry, but it does not matter. Too many members stand strong for the side of BDSA, and they will finally end the losing streak at 3 as they'll take down the Nexus.
Zico gave his life at the end of it. He gave it to displace 5 players and give the win.